Hello everyone, today I'm glad to have this opportunity to introduce my pitch for you. My podcast season called Media Club. In the digital age, media has become one of the primary forms of creating and receiving information in society. Now, media could exist on mobile phones and computers instead of traditional forms of television and radio. Under the rule of the internet, media platforms could transfer lots of information, like news, videos, images to us more easily. It also encourages the interaction between people and reduces the sense of distance between humans. Media platforms has gradually become a necessity for people. People could use media platforms to create and obtain information. People's life and action depend on the function of media. It plays an important role for all of us living in the society. However, media platforms also shape the society by influencing humans' thoughts and actions. Media would record people's data and analyze it to push limited information. Meanwhile, media platforms could affect humans' relationship based on the operation of algorithms. So, media replaces people's ability to think about things and affect people's lifestyle. To discuss the progress of how media platforms are affecting the society could help us to understand the function of media platforms. It could help people to shape an essential digital culture, which would be useful for the development of the society. This podcast season focused on young people and teenagers. It also open for the people who are interested in social media platforms. According to the research, young people and teenagers often use media to get information and post information. They would spend more time on social media platforms than other ages. They would pay more attention on network platforms and communicate with others. They could use their free time to listen to this podcast, which would let them get knowledge and entertainment. Also, they would like to hear others' experience and learn how to make themselves to get a better environment of online time. This podcast season would more easily to strike their chord because this podcast focus on our everyday life. I would use first-person tone to narrate the story or personal experience. It applies the way of chatting and interview to show the information for audience. This approach could enhance the audience audio-visual experience to achieve the function of interaction. Also, it would use music or funny sound effect to make an interesting and relaxed vibe for audience, which would improve the function of entertainment. To avoid audience schedule conflicts, each episode is about 30 minutes long. The first episode is called Media Platforms Drive the Social Interaction in Our Life. This episode states that media could influence people's social interaction through the function of algorithm, which influences the digital intimacy in society. To analyze the function of media platforms, the most important step of the research is that calculate personal experience and their source of the influence of the social media. I have used two media platforms, which are Sini Weibo and So, as my research media objects. I would use these two media platforms to find relevant posts or comments to combine with the concepts. Next, I would use the video editing technology to make a podcast episode by Adobe Premiere. Finally, I would review it and make an improvement. The second episode is called Creatures of Social Reality. In this episode, I state that machines have become integrated into our lives, and it have played an important role in our lives. Our experience and actions are all connected to the media. I would use my personal experience and an interview to propose the argument. And I have found an app called Keep, which relevant with this topic. Next, I will combine the concept of cyborgs with the relevant information got from the research. In the process of editing, I would use some images to improve audience audio experience of hearing my podcast. Next is a short example of my podcast from episode 1. Take my personal experience as an example. I have used an app called So last week. I found that this app allows people to choose their tag or make a new tag as their self-introduction. Also, people can post photos, tags, or videos to show their thoughts by using these tags. Under this situation, we can easily meet the person who has the same preference as ourselves. And it is not for some non-mainstream groups to express themselves.